Hello YouTubers, welcome to a new video from Psychology of Motivation and Inspiration. So in today's video we're going to talk about the phenomenon of motivation. Motivation is all those reasons that energize, that actually guide people into pursuing, doing their goals, into maintaining their goal-oriented behaviors. Motivation really has to do with the strength and the direction, the perseverance of a behavior in a person, and all of the factors that influence this person into continuing in the direction of his goals and his dreams. So motivation has a neurological and biochemical aspect to it. There are some regions in our brain in which motivation is created and perpetuated, and there are many neurotransmitters that are implied in the presence of motivation, in the continuity of motivation, and this is why some people get motivated more easily than others, and some people who suffer from some very serious psychiatric conditions like schizophrenia have a much harder time getting motivated and doing things and persisting into realizing their goals in comparison to other people who do not suffer from serious psychiatric conditions. Now, motivation can be intrinsic or extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation is when someone pursues doing, it continues trying to achieve something, doing something without really having any specific external rewards. It is the example of doing something because we love this subject. For example, reading a book because we're really interested in the topic of the book, or studying a certain subject because we're fascinated, our internal curiosity is intrigued by this subject. Extrinsic motivation, on the other hand, has to do with all of the reasons why someone persists and continues trying to achieve something that are related to really external rewards, like money, like praise from his social surroundings, fame, grades, etc. So this type of motivation arises from outside of the individual. So in other words, we could say that when it comes to intrinsic motivation, people are actually motivated to perform an activity and to insist for its own sake, for personal, internal reasons and rewards. While in the case of extrinsic motivation, people perform and try and keep on trying, doing an activity, improving themselves, persisting in order to avoid a punishment or to earn an external reward. Both types of motivation can be equally effective depending on the individual and on the specific task. But in some cases, it seems that the offering of extrinsic motivation may actually diminish the intrinsic motivation. This phenomenon, which is quite paradoxical, is called the over-justification effect. It is quite characteristic in some studies that some children who were rewarded externally for playing with a specific toy, a toy with which they already had expressed the interest and the desire to play with, the intrinsic motivation, well, after being rewarded externally with candies or with money, they progressively became less and less interested in the toy itself. They lost their intrinsic motivation. So both types of motivation can work, but in some cases it seems that the offering of extrinsic motivation may actually diminish the intrinsic motivation. However, we should mention here that even extrinsic motivation can be a very important type of motivation, can be a very good thing. For example, in cases when someone really has to complete a task, really has to do something that they find unpleasant, for example, cleaning up their room, or doing the house chores, or studying for their exams. In all cases, motivation isn't enough. Motivation is what gets people started, but commitment and discipline are also necessary in order to keep them going, besides all the difficulties and the hardships that they may encounter in the process. However, motivation is that initial fire that pumps people up and gets them started into trying in an excited way to achieve their dreams. Now, a very, very important and interesting question is, how can we strengthen our motivation? Our imagination and our thoughts related to the goals that we want to achieve play a very important role in this aspect. So it is important to visualize what is the expected outcome, what we would like to do or achieve. It is important to make some affirmations that excite us, that make us feel strong, that make us feel capable of doing what we want to achieve. Visualizations and affirmations are like small mental exercises, like small mental muscles that need to be trained in a repeated way in order to strengthen your motivation. So in visualization, you have to envision yourself achieving your goal. You have to really see yourself where you want to be, achieving that final result. You have to see it with your internal eyes, with your imagination. You have to feel as if you were already there. Create a detailed mental image of the desired outcome using all of your senses, and do this repeatedly. For example, if you wish to run your first marathon, you can visualize yourself really arriving at the end and crossing the finish line and feeling happy about yourself, having your friends or family around you congratulating you, feeling good about yourself in a beautiful natural scenery. That is a typical example of visualization of the desired goal. Another way of training your motivation is to create vision boards. Vision boards are boards that include many different photos or videos or drawings that you have collected or made yourself, and that represent the final outcome, what you would like to achieve. They work pretty effectively because they actually take all of your thoughts and dreams and they turn them into something real, concrete, and tangible. Of course, vision boards only work for people who are actually prepared to actively put the necessary work to do what they have to do. So vision boards by themselves are not enough. Taking good care of yourself and of your well-being, eating well, relaxing, meditating, and physical exercise, sleeping well, all of these elements can also help you be more consistent in your efforts, and they can have a positive impact on your internal motivation as well. So it is always important to remember of the general conditions of our lives and how we take care of ourselves in order to feel motivated. Now, in order to keep the fire of your motivation burning, it is very helpful to choose reasonable goals and to break them down to small, tangible baby steps, to smaller and smaller goals that are easy to achieve and that are within immediate reach in the beginning. So that is something that will reward you with results very often and will keep your motivation going for a long time. As you start achieving those small goals, as you start taking those baby steps, you gain confidence and experience in the process. And so, in the long term, you can try to achieve goals that are bigger and bigger and that require more and more motivation. Positive affirmations are also a useful tool in the process of strengthening our motivation. They are actually positive phrases. They are different for each and every one of us. They are phrases that speak to us directly, that speak to our hearts and souls. They are statements that we can use in order to reinforce our beliefs in ourselves and to challenge negative or unhelpful underlying thoughts. Another way of reinforcing our motivation is to thoroughly study the history, the personal story of people who have succeeded in what you want to achieve. The people that have already done what you're trying to do, who have already achieved success in the area that you want to succeed. So you can read books or articles, or you can regularly visit their blog spots or their websites on the internet in order to get more and more inspired on a regular basis. You can even make lists of the people that you admire the most in your life, of your role models, of people that have achieved what you're trying to achieve, and you can even write to them, like send them an email or write a comment in their personal website or YouTube channel. When they answer, that is going to help you even more feel empowered and have your motivation pumped up. Finally, you can regularly make lists of all of the reasons why you want to achieve what you're trying to do, and keep on rereading, rewriting, and revising those lists on a regular basis. Keep on reminding to yourself all of the reasons why you're doing what you're trying to do at the moment. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching my new video. If you liked it, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and to subscribe to my channel. I will be back soon with more videos on interesting topics. Bye bye!